Everyone tells you to get a hobby, but no one tells you how to actually start one without quitting immediately. Be honest, how many times have you said, I'm gonna stick to it, and then 3 days later, you quit? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to start a hobby step by step in a way that actually works, even if you don't have discipline, time, or motivation. Hi, my name is Bobina. Welcome to my channel. My goal on this channel is to help you explore, experiment, and rediscover yourself using hobbies. Without wasting much time, let's get into this video. The first mistake is that you're picking hobbies wrong. You're not picking a hobby for your real life. You're picking a hobby for your fantasy life, the idea that you have of yourself in your mind, and that's the big mistake. You choose hobbies like, I want to be someone who paints in the morning or someone who goes to the gym daily. That gap that you're creating is the reason why you quit your hobbies. And the solution here is very simple. You need to pick a hobby for your current energy, not for your ideal self. For example, if your life is very exhausting, don't pick something that is very high effort. The whole point of introducing a hobby is to add something that fits into your life, not something that will completely disrupt your life and cause you so much stress. That's not the point. That will be defeating the whole point of starting a hobby. And if your life is boring, don't pick something that is passive, because what you need right now is to help your brain focus on something. You need to be intentional about the hobby that you pick. Don't try to fantasize. In the beginning, it's very important to pick something that doesn't disrupt your life, but instead is very convenient and very easy for you to get started with. I want you to ask yourself, what feels doable even on a difficult day? That's your starting point. Not something that is very impressive, but something that is doable. Because the whole point of you trying to start a hobby is for you to improve your mental health. So if the hobby is going to make your life difficult, then it defeats the whole purpose. This rule changes everything, because you start with 10 minutes, not an hour, not when it feels right, just 10 minutes. And I do genuinely believe that each and every one of us can spare 10 minutes for a hobby. Because the truth is, starting is the hardest part, because there's something called activation energy, which is the effort that is required to start something. So if the task is too big, the brain will reject it. If you're starting out a hobby, maybe you're starting to color or you're starting to paint, whatever it is, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna spend like an hour painting. You need to chill. You need to chill. So don't get confused that if you say you're doing it for 10 minutes, then you're lazy. No, you're training your brain and you're introducing your brain to that new thing. So you're allowing your brain to understand and get used to it. So 10 minutes is enough. It doesn't overwhelm you, because again, remember, if you're overwhelmed and you're stressed, the last thing you need is to add a task that gives you more stress. We're trying to add a task that gives you more control and more relaxation. That's the point of the hobby. And you will be shocked by the amount of progress that you will make in about 2 or 3 months. Then after that, you can be like, now that my brain is used to this, I think I can add a little bit more time. Then you can say, okay, I'll be doing it 30 minutes. And then maybe you can go after a couple of months again, you can say, okay, I'll be doing it an hour. We're not trying to like shock your system into starting a hobby. Because the goal here is that when you start with 10 minutes, you're going to be wanting to do it more, because now you're going to get used to it and you're going to be like, oh, I still want to do it all. 10 minutes already? Oh man, I was just getting into flow state. That's the whole point. That's what we want. We want you to start craving the hobby. We want you to start wanting to do it, to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I only have 10 minutes to do it. That's the whole point. That's how you get started. Just think about this. You're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. Why are you trying to rush the process? There is no need to rush the process. You have the rest of your life to do this. No one is rushing you. No one is telling you anything that has to be done in a certain way. You get to decide that. You're the boss of it. So don't have to rush. You just have to take it slowly and let your body adjust to it. So 10 minutes is where you start. The next thing you're going to need to do is fix your environment. Now, I'm not saying you need to go buy fancy stuff and like decorate your room or whatever. No. What I mean is, if you're going to start running, put your running gear where it's supposed to be for you to easily access it. If you want to start playing guitar, make sure your guitar is in the same place where it's easily accessible for you. You can easily look at it. You can easily pick it up. wherever it is, make sure it's easily accessible to you. If you want to start drawing, make sure that your sketchbook is on the desk where you can easily just pick it up and start sketching. If you're going to be coloring, make sure wherever it is in your house where you sit to color, your coloring book is there and your crayons are there, so you just easily pick them up and start coloring. What we're trying to avoid is friction, because if you add friction, you're not going to do the thing. The more steps that you have to get started will prevent you from actually getting started, because you're going to be like, oh, I have to go look for my socks, and you're going to be like, where is my legging that I use for running, that favorite one? Or, oh my gosh, where are my pencils? I don't remember where I put my eraser. That is going to be friction that's going to stop you from being committed and continuing to do it, because again, remember, we're trying to make it easy for the body to get used to that system, because if it takes effort to start, you won't start. You need to stop overbuying supplies. I'm going to make a specific video for this section because a lot of people end up falling for this trap. Before you even begin, before you even get started with your hobby, you have already been set up to fail. And it's because of one thing: overconsumption. Social media has convinced us that for you to get started, you need the perfect setup, the perfect tools, the perfect beginner kit. Well, that is not true. And I am proof of that. You don't need to buy a lot of supplies. What you need is to get started. And the biggest issue here is that the more you buy supplies and the more you buy things, the more pressure you put on yourself, because you're like, I spent so much money on this thing, I need to do it and I need to make it work. And that defeats the whole purpose, because the whole point of you starting the hobby is to improve your mental health. So all that money that you're spending on like buying alcohol markers or buying different types of sketchbooks, buying hundreds of stickers, that money could be used for your food, it could be used for your accommodation, for you even just going out to enjoy your time with your friends, whatever it is. That money could be used for something else, but instead you're using it for supplies that you don't need, which then just causes you more stress, because now you're going to be worried about money, and that defeats the whole purpose. If you pick one thing from this video, I'm going to beg you, I will beg you, I will kneel down. I wish I could, but I'm being lazy to get out my term. You don't need a million things to get started. If you're going to be sketching, you're going to need a pencil and a sketchbook. That's it. If you're going to be coloring, you need a coloring book and a set of colored pencils or crayons, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be the 48 color set or the 72 color set, whatever it is. If you're going to start, just start. And as time goes on, and you realize, okay, I actually need this thing because of A, B, C, and D. I'm trying to solve a specific problem. Then you can get that. Don't go for the high-end products that you see on social media. You know, there are a lot of like products that you can get from like, I don't know, like a bookstore. For me specifically, I didn't use like a hoo-hoo until I was like maybe 2 years into my hobby, and I had already improved my skills. These painting that you're seeing in the background, these were done with watercolor that cost less than $2. The watercolor paper also cost me less than $3. You don't need the expensive brands, the expensive names that you see on social media to get started. You can get there after you improve and grow your skills and you don't have so much pressure, because again, you don't know if you're going to like those things. So first, if you're going to experiment and explore, start with like cheaper products, things that are like easy for you to access, you know, things you can even buy secondhand things. Just make it cheaper for you to get started. Money shouldn't be at the center of your hobby. Money shouldn't be the thing that determines if you can do a hobby or not. Unless you're doing like pickleball or something, whatever that stuff is. I hear that stuff is expensive. So again, like, be careful you pick your hobbies. So remember, buying things feels like progress, but actually doing the things is the real progress. And that's the goal here. Remember, we're trying to improve your mental health. We're trying to improve your emotional health. That's the point of the hobby, not to stress you out by buying things or feeling FOMO. You need to be patient, and you also need to learn to be grateful for the things that you already have, because you're going to need to start with the bare minimum. That's the goal. We need to start with the bare minimum, okay? The cheapest coloring book that you can find, okay? Just start with that. The next thing you're going to need to do, babes, is to pick a default time. Now, if you say, I'm going to do it later, babes, later is not a real time. Okay, later could mean like 1,000 years from now. Are you going to be here 1,000 years from now? No, didn't think so. Unless you're like an original vampire or something like that, then good for you, babes. Good for you. You got all the time in the world. The important thing here is that you need to pick a specific time that works for you. So for example, I recently started walking, like serious walking, like I'm like a 10K step kind of girl. I tried doing it in the morning. I was like, I cannot do it in the morning because the morning is when I have brain power and I need to use my brain power. In the afternoon, I'm a bit more exhausted, the brain, and I do more like physical stuff. So I moved it to the afternoon. I also started reading. Girl with hobbies, oh my gosh, like, girl, I'm on fire at this point, okay? With reading, I was like, I need to find a specific time that works for me. I started in the morning, but then I was like, in the morning, I need to do stuff that really is challenging. So I'm gonna save that time for like challenging stuff like my actual work. So I was like, okay, what time can I read? And I realized before bed, because again, I'm trying to prevent myself from looking at screens. So I'm like, a book is like the best thing to be doing before bed. I keep my book over there, as you can see it, by my bed, and I'm reading The Wheel of Time. And I was learning to like sketch and paint. I was like, what time can I do it? What's the best time to do it? That was a bit challenging for me. So I was like, okay, in the morning, I need my brain power because I really want to learn how to draw portraits. So I was like, okay, the morning is the best time for me. So I was in my last year of uni at that time. So I was like, okay, before I even start studying, I'm going to just like do some sketching for like 20 minutes and then I start studying to activate my brain. If it's cooking, what time is it that's best for you to cook, to bake, whatever it is that you want to do? Pick a specific time that works for you. If you can even add it to a routine, like the way I did with my reading, it's part of like my bedtime routine. So that makes the whole process a little bit easier. I hope you're taking notes. I'll be taking notes, vibes. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Because if it's not scheduled, it's not happening. And we want to make it happen. So make sure you schedule time for it. Don't wing it. You need to have a direction in which you're moving. So even with like my art, I was like, okay, I need to pick a reference the night before. So in the morning, I would draw my art. But then I remember in the beginning, I would like just go into Pinterest and then start looking for a reference that specific time when I'm supposed to be drawing. And I would be like, oh my God, looking for references. And I'm like, I can't really find anything I want to draw. And I remember there's certain mornings that I just wasted being like indecisive and not knowing what to do. Pick in advance, have a direction. And then as time goes on, you can make the structure a bit more complex. So you can even like create a curriculum, and another video coming up. If it's done, I'm going to link it up here. How to create your hobby curriculum. I've got you, vibes. That's the whole point of me being here, is to hold your hand through this transition period as you get started with your hobby. And I will give you whatever information that you need to get started. What we're trying to prevent is procrastination and resistance. If it's your music that you need to sort it out, have a direction, already know what you're going to do when you start to do it. If you're going to fish, already know which spot you're going to fish and how long you're going to do it. Plan things out so that you know exactly what you're going to do, because it's also going to give you this sense of accomplishment. It doesn't have to be complex. It has to be simple, just very simple. Be like, okay, so today I'm going to walk 10,000 steps and I'm going to walk in this direction. That's all you need. Say this week, I'm going to focus on learning how to draw lips. Have steps and things that you're going to follow and things that you know you need to do. You need to expect yourself to be terrible in the beginning. Don't expect things to go the way you think that they'll go in your head, because they won't. I know you're thinking, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to walk 10K steps. You're going to be exhausted by 3,000 steps. Okay, you're going to be exhausted by 2,000 steps. Just accept that you're going to be shit in the beginning, and that's part of the process. In case you didn't know, there is something called the beginner dip, where you feel like you're getting worse before you actually get better. Now, I'm going to show you a page from my very first sketchbook. So prepare yourselves. It took me about 2 years to learn how to draw a portrait. Okay, that looks like an actual human being. I will show you guys some more pictures of my art. So you have to be okay with being terrible in the beginning. Again, that's the beauty of a hobby, because the pressure isn't there from anyone to be perfect. So if you do something and you find it difficult in the beginning, don't give up and say, I can't do it, or I'm not good at it. Stick with it. Give it time. Let it grow. It takes time. I remember in the beginning, I was a bit stressed. I was like, oh my God, why are they coming out like this? Why do their faces look like that? This eye, freaking realistic, vibes. Freaking realistic. And it takes time, trust me, and you have to be terrible at it in the beginning. That's the whole point. We're learning patience. That's the whole point of a hobby. And we're also learning how to fail, how to be okay with failing and failure. Because at school, we're not really allowed to fail. We're supposed to figure things out immediately. But with the hobby, you're allowed to fail, to experiment, to explore. That's the whole point. That's why I'm here, babes. That's why I'm here. If you see you're terrible at it, laugh at yourself. Okay, laugh at yourself. If you're with your friends and you're doing it with your friends, laugh at each other. That's fine. That's the whole point. Just enjoy the process. If you're shit, just be okay with it. It's part of the process. You're not alone. Everyone was terrible. in the beginning. So you need to be okay with that. Don't let the idea of how you think it's supposed to go in your mind stop you from actually pursuing what you love to do and enjoying yourself while you do it. Okay, you might never even be good at it, but if you can find a way to enjoy it or being terrible at it, that's fine too. That's the whole point of a hobby, okay? So I want you to be okay with being shit at doing things and being horrible and finding things difficult, because what we're trying to do here is to improve your brain. Don't be afraid to be shit. I was shit too. You can be shit too. You should see my first YouTube videos. Oh my gosh. Oh my days. Yeah, nah, mate. But like, I still posted them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, babes? So you better do it. You better do it. Don't quit. Don't quit. Okay? Be shit. That's the goal. Be shit at it and be proud of being shit. The last thing that I need you to do, babes, is track your progress. Now, this is very important because as time goes on, you're going to want to see the improvement and the growth that you're making. So, for example, with art, it's very easy because you're doing it on a piece of paper and it's easy to just look back at the work that you're doing. If you're running, have an app that tracks your running, have even like a place where you can actually like track your progress, photos, whatever it is that you're doing, videos, whatever it is, have a way that you track your progress so that you can be able to look back and see, oh my gosh, look how far I've come. Oh my gosh, look how I've improved my life by doing a hobby that I love and I enjoy. If it's pottery that you're doing, you will be able to see the cups that you're making, the plates that you're making, crochet, the things that you made in the beginning. Like, hold on to those little things, those little trinkets that you're making that are horrible in the beginning, because when you get better, you're gonna look back at them and be like, oh my gosh, little me was like trying to figure this out, and how adorable was that? Okay. And I realized that I can do anything I say I want to do. And whenever I fail at something, it's because I'm just not interested in doing it. Like, I just realized that. But if I'm really committed to doing something, I can do it. I can definitely do it. So track whatever it is that you do, no matter how small the progress is, no matter how small the effort is, track it, because in the future you will look back and be proud of yourself. You'll be proud of how far you've come and what you're capable of doing, and you will actually shock yourself because you're capable of pretty much anything you put your mind to. Always believe that. Starting a hobby isn't about discipline, it's about removing resistance and making it easy to start and follow, and also realistic to maintain. Because the goal of starting a hobby isn't to be perfect, it's to become someone who shows up, someone who is okay to weather difficult times, someone who learns to have a good relationship with failure, someone who has the ability to learn and teach themselves how to improve and how to grow, someone who is capable of saying, I can do what I put my mind to. That's the whole point of starting a hobby. And also, most importantly, someone who cares about their mental health and someone who wants to live a life that is fulfilling, that is fun and vibrant and colorful. So I would love to know in the comments what hobby you want to start. Once you start one hobby, babes, you will have multiple hobbies by the time you reach 3 years. Trust me. And if you want to learn more about self-confidence and how a hobby can build self-confidence, check out this video because it has some gems. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Totally forgot to tell you that. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.